Hello, ma'am.
Hi, hi.
Hi, ma'am. This is Nancy here. I wanted to ask something. Have you seen our assignments, or have you gone through them?
Not me, Dr. Ajit and Simriti. They are the one who will be checking the assignments.
Okay, I just wanted to know that do we have we missed us out something, or have we done it correctly or not?
Yeah, yeah. He will be sharing the final, assessment. Have you gone right or wrong, like that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Mm. Welcome. Yeah, there is one question someone asked: is ICF necessary for retrospective study? Now, I just wanted to clarify that if it is just an analysis, you are not asking any question, even a question, so to a patient, then it is not necessary, because in the ICF come into picture when you are interacting someone, either maybe a healthy participant or a patient. When you are taking a data from someone, so just take an example in today's class. If I wanted to check with you for a couple of questions, like 3 4 questions, and then based on those questions I wanted to publish my research, I need a consent. However, suppose there is data already published in the literature, it is already there, I am using old study. No, because in a person, I am not interacting with any individual or a patient. So that practically makes no logic. In those scenarios it is not needed. But when you are taking some data, even in the form of a questionnaire, even in the form of information, then you need a ICF. I believe we should start, right? Let me share my whiteboard with you. Just wanted to give you, because this is a practical class. It's more relied on our practical side of the document, not on the theory side, because the theory we have already covered. So let me share my board with you, and I'll try to connect the dots. So thank you. Thank you for the asking for a question. You should interact these sessions more and more. I have started sharing my screen. Just tell me no. Just let me know that if you are able to see the whiteboard, something white. I just drawn one line. Hope you are able to see. You have to unmute and say yes or no, because on this device I'm unable to
Yes,
see.
ma'am, we can see.
Yeah, yeah. So, how, as I told you in the last time, the clinical trial has a 3 stages. The very first stage is a planning stage. Hmm. So, this is your planning stage where any sponsor pharma company they plan. Then the number two is the conduct phase. That is your number two phase. So third is your analysis, or you can say that final result analysis stage. So that is your third stage. So now today's document is connected with these two pieces, correct? So when you are planning, you are also planning to write a protocol, which we covered in the last session. At the planning stage, we write protocol, and we also write informed consent form, right, or informed consent document. We also write design, not write design, CRFs, correct. Investigator brochure is also at this stage. SOPs, they are also at this stage. Hmm, and many more documents. So all these documents are, I'm just trying to cover from a medical side more, right? Medical writing side more. So all these documents, they are part of a planning. When you're planning, then you are working on these documents. So which team is working on these documents? Medical writing team works on these documents. Correct. Now, and this is the stage two, which is more on a operation. This is an operation stage. Here operation, you are CRA, project managers, investigator, hmm, and even your reg affair, data management, their roles become more active. Hmm. They become more active here. huh? But now the medical writing who has written this protocol, they will be using here. Here it will be used because based on this protocol, they will be conducting a trial. Similarly, now informed consent form, here medical writing team, based on the protocol, they drafted the informed consent form. Here it will be used. So today we will be covering these two elements in detail. So how you take the consent, consenting is a big thing. How you take a consent, that means how it is being used in a clinical trial, and how you can actually write informed consent form. Writing informed consent form is very easy job. It's like 10 times simpler than protocol. Okay. Now, I just for to connect the dots, I can just cover analysis stage. Whatever based on this protocol, what trial you conducted here, you will be analyzing the data. Data will get analyzed and you will be writing clinical study report, or you will also do the publication. So nutshell I'm telling you, and SAS programming will also come into picture here, right? And here data management team will be at the second stage very active. They will be collecting all the data, and processing of data will be happening. So this is how on high level these documents are connected. So these these there should not be any doubt how these documents are being utilized. So when you are writing this clinical study report, this protocol, ICF, CRFs, IV, they are all attached in the appendices of the CSR, and this CSR is submitted to regulatory bodies. Any question till now? Then I'll show you the ICF elements. Any question now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that's good, if it is clear. So now this, our focus for today will be the ICF only, right? But you have to always imagine this in this a bigger picture, because the moment your trial start, our trial start, it is, we are saying site initiation visit happened, which is a monitoring visit. You can start enrolling your patient. So first, when patient came in, first thing will be happening a screening. That is, that person is eligible or not. Maybe some medical test can happen if it is needed or not. Then the next is that there will be someone who will be taking informed consent form. There will be someone who will be completing this process, right? So the patient will be sitting in front of you, maybe a clinical study coordinator or maybe an investigator. They will be reading this ICF to a patient, and if patient saying yes, then you can take in a trial. If say no, then thank you, right? So then that patient won't be part of your clinical trial. So now let me go back to our slides. um, hmm. Okay, let me put it on slideshow. So it has two words. Informed consent form has a two words. The first is informed. Second is consent. Right? Informed means you are giving all the information to a patient, information related to your clinical trial. This information you are providing to the patient, that means informed. That the way I'm telling you everything, the way you go to bank and sign some important document, they tell you like, okay, maybe you are taking a loan, they say that 8% interest will be charged or whatever. So you are getting information, that is informed. Second is the patient is either saying yes or saying no. Consent means agreeing, and they are signing this document. So that means first patient takes in information. This is the responsibility of a study team who provides them the full information. Based on this information, patient either say yes or say no, right? So they are voluntarily agreeing to this process. So that is informed consent, right? Now, anyone can tell me the definition of informed consent form? I have not given you the ICF definition. Anyone who can provide the definition? Any idea also? That's fair. That's fair. If it is not 100% correct, then also it's fine.
You know, hello.
Hi, hi, please.
Yeah, ma'am. Good evening. It's
Good
something
evening.
that
Hello. I think I lost you. Everyone, can you please
yeah,
hear me?
I'm audible now.
Yeah, yeah. You are audible now. Very much.
Yeah, ma'am. It is a form that actually says, gives approval from the subject.
Okay, so you see, always you need not to forget the first part. So this is the process or form, you can say that, where you provide the information about a clinical trial to a patient. Always say this first, and the patient voluntarily agrees to participate in a clinical trial. So that is the definition of informed consent form. So this you should know all the time. Why I'm saying is that any interview you are going, this will be your opening question sometime, that what is informed consent form. In today's date and time, if any audit happens, this document is the first they review. That's how important this document is. And even if there is a court case, suppose there is a court case on the pharma company or some other legal issue is going on, this document will be the first document which will be opened. So the informed consent has a lot of weightage. And if I wanted to connect it to, we have studied 13 principle, 13 principles we have studied in one of our class, right? So you have seen that first, there is a principle on ethics, there is a principle on right, safety and well-being of the subject, right? How you practically ensure these two principles by ICF? So the principles are there, right, for a guidance, but how practically you ensure these principles is by the informed consent form. Even your risk benefit to an extent is covered by this principle. So that's how practically these document they address 13 principles. Okay, whose responsibility of ICF? Is it a sponsor's responsibility, investigator responsibility? Who is responsible to take ICF? Now, I give you one clue. Where informed consent process happens? At which place informed consent process happens? Is it at the place of a company or site? Where it happens? Where you perform this process? See, always focus on your basics. So informed consent, where clinical trial happens, it is on investigational site. Oh, spelling wrong, it's okay. Investigational site, or you can say hospital, right? This is the place where your clinical trial happens, correct? Now, who is responsible for this? Investigator. Who is the in charge of site? Investigator. So the overall responsibility lies on the investigator only, because the patient care is directly under his, one of his the main responsibility. Although sponsor is responsible to ensure that it is happening correctly, but this is investigator's responsibility. This is the last question, then we will I won't be keep on asking question, but this is just to set the context. What will be the source document to develop ICF? Anyone, it may be wrong. Like for a protocol we have that You will be taking information sheet from a sponsor, you will be taking IV from a sponsor. What will be the source document for ICF? Which is the must document to prepare ICF? Anyone? We have covered last time also protocol. So in clinical trial, you do not write the document at your own. You need some source document. So if someone asks you to write a protocol, you have to simply request, can you please share a protocol of this with me? Based on this protocol, you will be preparing ICF. This is the reason writing ICF is very easy comparison to protocol, because all the information which is presented in ICF, you can take it from the different sections of the protocol. Is it clear now till now? Okay, so what is the role of informed consent? It provides the protection to the subject. So it protects, what protects? It protects their autonomy, their rights, like that I am an individual, and I have been respected for this particular research. It protects the right of subject, that this whole process is voluntary and informed. So no matter you are writing your answer, no matter you are sharing at the time of interview, these two words, they are golden word, that it is voluntarily and everything is informed. So all research require informed consent, especially interventional trial. Observational trial, no. So interventional trial, they all need informed consent form. Observational, if it is just retrospective analysis, then no informed, because there is no patient, you are not recruiting any patient, so no consent. Informed consent must be in their regional language. Suppose there is a site in Maharashtra, it should be translated to Marathi, Bengali, or whatever language it is. And it should, this is the document that should be approved by ethics committee. So purpose of informed consent is that idea is to protect the subject, the complete information sharing with the subject, right? So when Nazi's trial happened, and then afterwards Nuremberg code came in, that's how ICF came into picture, right? So at that time the rights of the patient were not protected, so the main focus of informed consent form is to protect the rights of the patient, protect subjects right. Now how you ensure that we have informed everything to a patient? Because now in India it is must to have record audio video the process, right? So as per our drug DCGI, that this whole process should be audio video recorded. So how you ensure that participant has been informed rightly, right? So there is also way to check that. How you do that? You ask the question to a patient, that that if they understood or not. So ask the question related to study to help them to make a decision. They will be asking question like how much blood sample will be taken, all that type of question. How many times you have to come to a visit to site, right? How much compensation you will be getting, everything they will be asking, cross questioning, like I'm asking you questions, right? Similarly the coordinator, the person who is taking informed consent, they will also be asking the question. They have to understand the nature of the study, opportunity to agree to participate. So they've been asked, are you willingly participating, right? Sufficient time to make a decision. There are many times I have seen patient, they say that okay, you know uh, we have understood everything, but I don't want to say yes or no at this moment. I wanted to go back home and think for a while, and then I will let you know. That should be okay. You should be giving a time to the patient. Another scenario is, they say, hmm, that thank you so much for giving us the whole detail, but I would like to discuss maybe with my dad, maybe my father-in-law, maybe my husband or a wife, or a number of example. Or sometimes people say that we wanted to discuss with our family doctor. So they take time, they may come after some time. So that's okay. So what are the key element? Basically sections. These are more from writing perspective. I will also show you the practical example of informed consent, right? So you will be able to know that these are the sections. They are always given in a informed consent form. So first is the trial involves research, because that is the requirement of Nuremberg Code, that you have to tell a participant that this is a research, this is an experiment. Purpose of the trial. Hmm? See, purpose of the trial, from where you will take this information? Background section of the protocol. Very easy. Or introduction section of the protocol. You will take the purpose of the trial. Simple. There it may be written in three to four pages, but here you just need one paragraph. So that's why I told you that this the source document for ICF is your protocol. Treatment options. Again, this information will be coming to from a protocol. Study design, right? Randomization, what type of randomization they are using. Trial procedure. Again, this information will be coming from your protocol. Which section? Study design section. Subject's responsibility. This is a template requirement. Like it will be a standard, mostly a standard text like this is a research, you are agreeing to participate, and you have to be compliant with the study procedure, that maybe you have to come twice, once a week, once a month, or you also have to give us some biological sample. All that will be written here. They will also tell them that what are the aspects of the trial. Those are experimental in nature. Is there any risk or inconvenience? It may be a injection, it may be a blood sampling, that may be a inconvenience to a patient, so that they have to tell. Expected benefit. Mm. It may be a benefit to a society. Mm. So that they have to inform the patient. Alternate treatments available, like okay, they will also be saying that if you're saying no to this trial, these are the options, those are available in the market. Expected duration, is it 1 year, is it 2 year, what it is, right? So that will be explained in this section. Compensation and treatment if trial related injury. What compensation will be given if there is an injury? What will happen to them? Like in India, we have a formula, right, to calculate the compensation if it is related to trial. Any payment. So maybe if you are visiting every day, like rupees 700 will be given to you, because that is the daily labor calculated in India, right? Loss of wages of that per day may be compensated to do you. So that should be given in this section. Expense anticipated. Is there any expense that possible? One can be like you have to travel to a clinic. How far it is from your home? If they are saying it is too far, then again maybe the team has to think in a way that if they can compensate you. Then highlighting again and again that your participation is voluntarily. So I have discussed that planning and conduct the stage, right? So at a planning stage, medical writing team, they will be writing all these sections. At a conduct stage, CRC or investigator or anyone who is taking consent, they will be reading these things. So I am covering it from all the angles. Hmm. So if you are at a planning stage, you are responsible to write informed consent form. You will be writing all these sections. But if you are a CRC investigator, you are at a stage 2 of the trial. You are conducting the trial. Now experiment has started. So you are at stage 2. There where you will be reading these sections. Confidentiality statement that all the data will be kept confidential. May withdraw without any penalty. You again and again tell patient that they can withdraw from a clinical trial anytime. I just wanted to come back to this confidentiality statement. This is not taken lightly. This is very serious thing. So now these days there are jobs for data redaction, data anonymization. So their job role is, because suppose you have written somewhere 36-year-old white women, blah blah blah, right? So that may lead to the identification of the patient. So there are jobs, those are known as the data redaction, data anonymization. Their job is to mask. They just mask it, or they replaced it with the words that those don't impact the readability of the document, but same time protect the confidentiality of the participant. So this is how deep this statement is. A person and contact information, whom they can contact, study information, rights of the subject, trial. So all, uh, if they want to contact, if some they wanted to know about the study information, they wanted to know about their rights, something related to trial has happened, there is an injury related to trial, so whom they should be contacting, all those contact information should be part of a ICF. But now just think about the bigger organization. Those are already having a set of standards. I'm covering this point from a medical writing side. Hmm. So trial involves research. This will be a standard statement. You need not to write all the purpose of the trial, treatment option, randomization, trial procedure, that you have to change as per the protocol. Hmm. To an extent, risk and inconvenience, you need to change only where is needed. Maybe slight modification. So the sentence structure will be same for expected duration. Only you have to update the duration. So that's how easy it is when you are writing for the big organizations. Compensation and trial rated injury mostly a standard text. Stay payment mostly remains same, right? With little here and there and change. And expense anticipated, participation voluntarily, standard statements, confidentiality statement, standard statement, next also, and only few minor changes as per the trial they are done. So that's how easy it is these days to write these medical writing documents. Any question till now, students? Okay, I believe there is no question. Okay. So approximate number of subject involved, only you need to update the number. The rest of the statement will be the same. So is it a 400, 500? Hmm? The duration of participation, access to source document, can they access their documents, any relevant new information communicated, you know. Uh, One thing is, informed consent form is an ongoing process. It is never a one time process. It's ongoing. Ongoing means, suppose there is a new information and you have to communicate to a team. Medical writing team has to update the ICF, and operation team has to give a update to a patient. That's how it is. What can be the new relevant information? Sometime it hasn't happened, that protocol has been updated, the dosing has changed, based on that ICF will also be changed. Or another scenario, maybe some new regulation from a government side. Hmm. Government said something new, or new research came in. As per earlier research, it was okay to give a maybe 15 to 18 years old, adolescents, but now it may not be okay. So that you have to give an update, maybe new side effect. Hmm. So any new information, or maybe your competitor, some other pharma company, they already launched the drug in the market. So you have to tell your patients, have to give them update that X Pharma has already launched similar drug. Mhm. You can go and take this drug from the market if you want, and you have to take a sign from the patient. So that is how about a new information. So if there is any new information related to trial, then you have to share it with the patient. Correct language and level, that's okay, that's mostly managed by your operation team. Risk to fetus, mostly almost 99% of the trials, hmm, they have these statements that if you are planning for a baby, if you are in that, if during the trial you came to know you are pregnant or you are going to have a baby, so you should let us know. Hmm. So mostly the trials, those are not meant for this particular population. There is a restriction for an entry, and these days this is a standard, these are mostly standard statements, those are added in ICF. And you also tell a patient that they need to take a measure to prevent the pregnancy. If the trial is terminated, procedure for termination, that statement is also added in your ICF. Now, this is I have covered from a writing perspective that what are different sections of your protocol. Now, a little more on your operational side. Now, who can give you the consent? The very first thought is 100% okay that subject can give the consent, right? It's completely fine. But if subject is unable to give the consent, that is the condition may be patient is minor, or a volunteer is minor, or they have some mental condition, hmm, then legally acceptable representative LAR can give the consent. Hmm. LAR is a legally acceptable representative. So subject, in case of they are minor or some other mental condition, should inform to an extent they are capable of understanding. Hmm. So for us children, you mostly take a assent. I have today one format uh, for a minor, one for adult. We will go through both the formats, correct? So suppose there is a minor also, you take an assent from them, you will explain to them to the level they can understand. Hmm. Mostly these days, companies, they are using these, what you say, that video consenting for children to explain them. They are taking help of small videos and even the cartoon videos, right? So they are also trying to become innovative day by day. So this is the on a responsibility section, whose responsibility it is. That's why I had kept one question in the beginning, so that you will be alert, right? So investigator responsibility it is to take an informed consent form, but they may delegate to a qualified person. Hmm? So but he is responsible, ultimately he is responsible, right? They may delegate to CRC, they may delegate to co-investigator. Hmm? So they can delegate to someone, but ultimately they are responsible. But if they are delegating, they should train this person. Suppose they are delegating to CRC, they need to document that this person is trained to take the informed consent process. When this process begins when the subject, before any trial related procedure is done, you can't even take vitals, hmm, before informed consent. If you are doing so, it is illegal. So the patient, you can't collect any data, not even you can ask their question related to their lifestyle. Basically you can't check any eligibility before signing the informed consent. So informed consent in principle, it is taken before trial is, before any procedure is done. So now covering on the signature part, the consent must be signed and personally dated by, first is subject, second is we have studied that a patient is unable to give, then legally acceptable, representative. Suppose wife, then husband is a legally acceptable representative, kids, their parents are legally acceptable representative, or any guardian. Suppose if there is, um, some other guardian is there, yeah, so they are whosoever is legally acceptable, correct. Consenter, the person who is taking consent, like CRC or investigator, if who is taking the consent, they have to sign. So subject, LAR, and the consenter, they have to sign. And this page you should, you should make notes of this page at least, because this is the main question that sometime in interviews asked, and people don't get it right because they get confused. And there is no point to get confused, but I know people get confused. Okay, now there is another situation comes in. If the subject and LAR is unable to read, that is quite often situation in our country. So subject is no, subject or LAR, they saying that we are unable to read. Then in that you need impartial literate witness. What I mean by impartial? So impartial mean not part of study team. It's not like you can ask a nurse that okay, you can read, you can be a witness. No, impartial literate witness is required, should not be part of a study. Who can, who is not a part of a study team, here it is written, must be present and sign the date and ICF. Why it is needed? Suppose if subject is not able to read or even LAR, because how they will ensure that what they've been told the same is written? Someone is required to verify that, right, that what they have been told the same is written. So that's why you need impartial literate witness. Any question on this? We can take this. This can be a very good discussion. So you feel free to ask the question. So what is their role? They are attesting the fact that process was conducted in a manner such that subject and LA are able to make a informed voluntarily decision. This is the golden word, informed voluntarily decision. So everything that we are doing, it may be audio video recording, it may be impartial witness sign, everything we are doing is to make sure that this whole process is the voluntarily process, right? So this is snapshot. I'm taking little pause here, you can try to absorb it. All right, so sign and date, the revision says subject should sign, the consenter should sign, LAR should sign, and if it is an impartial witness, then that person should sign. One copy you give to a subject, Another copy goes to the file. So it is subject's right. You have to give them one copy of informed consent form, and the one copy is filed in the file. So this is more on impartial witness. So if the an impartial literate witness should be present during entire process of consent, he should sign and date. Right. This is the reason we are having a AV, audio video. Consent of illiterate subject is documented in the form of their thumb impression, non-dominating hand. This is also quite a debated thing. Mostly people say left, but it is the non-dominating hand. If I'm using a right most of the time, then my left is non-dominating hand, or a vice versa. But you should keep in mind that illiterate doesn't equivalent that they don't have a mental capability. They can say they are the ultimate decision makers. Impartial witness is just to help them that what they have been told, the same is written. That's the only thing. But the rest, the decision makers, they are the only one. Because nowhere doesn't mean that they are not mentally capable. They are very much mentally capable, right? All patients who are otherwise illiterate but just have yeah, this is also important. Suppose there are folks who just have learned to sign the document. They won't be considered literate, because signing doesn't mean that you are you can verify the content. The literate person will be considered only if they are able to read that form, right? So under 18, uh, if we explain to a child or adolescent to the extent they are able to understand, that's a one way. There are two processes. The consent from parents and LAR is taken, and same time assent is also taken. So here there are two processes. You take assent from the baby, the child, and consent from parents, and both should say yes. If any one of these saying no, then no, they can't take a part in the trial. Suppose child say yes, parents say no, then they can't participate in the trial, right? If parents say yes, child say no, again no. Parents should say yes, child also say yes, right? Assent means child affirmation, agreement to participate in a trial. So failure to object or absent affirmations, that means child is not agreeing to participate the trial. So you can't force. So all this can also be recorded on this. And for inform, just a minute. Give me a 1 minute. I'm just taking a small break. Just a two. Okay, so I am back. I just gone for a water. So There is another condition that for a patient in coma, emergency, and dementia. So, first of all, it should be documented that this patient is unable to give a consent. Medical reason should be there. There should be some documentation. So, and as we have learned, LAR can give the consent, but if LAR is illiterate, then impartial literate witness can give. Hmm. When the subject recovers from the state, now person is not in coma or under any emergency condition, then they by themselves sign and date the ICF. And the trials where such patients are expected to recruit, so then you have to take an prior approval from a ethics committee. On the documentation part, because this is a very important document, you one has to process date, time, the consent given. They have to document everything. There should be a clear indication that this whole participation is a voluntarily participation. Protocol number should be given. Language, which language, which version has been used, that should be clarified. Risk and benefit should be explained. All queries of patient, they are answered. So if patient has asked some question, it should be clarified and should have been answered. The person involved in the consent process, they should sign, and one copy should be given to the patient. It is a must thing. So please note that the documentation is equally important. So this, because there is an independent reviewer tomorrow, your audit is happening. They are not going back in time. They are not traveling back in time to check that you have taken the consent in the right way. They simply looking at your documents, that you have done the due diligence. Okay, this is for you, student. um so you can tell me, patient can't leave the trial. Is it true or false? I have addressed it to an extent, but you can let me know. Mm, you can type your answer. False. More answers. I can't unmute you guys. Okay, you someone put you on mute. Okay, this is my admin, but I am not admin. So thank you for. I'm looking like this. No problem. What is the difference between informed consent form and informed consent document? No difference, dear. It's just their way to address it. But the real name, actual name is informed consent form. So, but it just mentioned as a document. So, okay, that's correct. Most of people have taken it right. So patient can, they are able to leave at any time. So this is false. That's correct. The patient has to inform to a study team about their well-being. Is it correct or not? So if suppose the patient has got sick, or they are leaving the study area, they have to inform the study team that they are doing fine or not. No worries, I can check your answers by this. True. Very well done. Very well done. Thank you. Yes, now we got it. Yes. Back to Microsoft. By signing ICF, patient is tied legally to oblige the trial condition. So what this statement is saying, that this is patient now is a legally tied to clinical trial. That's a simply I wanted to put. So the moment they are signing in informed consent form, they are legally tied to clinical trial. Is it correct? Is it true or false? It is false. They are not legally tied. No, pharma can't take them to a court that you signed this document. You are legally responsible to give us the data. No, no, they are independent because that's all we are ensuring the right, safety, and well being of the subjects. Hmm? Sorry. Let try if I can unmute you guys, but I don't have the rights, huh? No, I can't. All right, we have covered the one part of our today's workshop, that is informed consent form, that is the documentation. Sorry, basically theory part we have covered. Now I wanted to show you the few templates, right? So these templates will help you to understand the practical side of the. Let me see. This is clinic. Yes. So this template after the class I can share with you guys. In your I have this one group medical writing. Dr. Ajit has added me as well. I'll post these two. One is this is for adult. Another template is for minors. Why I have downloaded this from a WHO site? Because there's one very good thing. One is they are universally accepted. Second is for every section they have given the example. So before I start with this, we can take 5 minutes to discuss the our questions. I can understand that you are unable to unmute yourself, right? um, but what I'll tell you, you can write your questions. I will address those. Any question related to informed consent process or informed consent form, please leave your comment in your chat box. Okay, can you please show? Yeah, I Nancy, I will be sharing, but now we are just what you say that addressing the question only. If you want me to share in advance, let me see if I can share it. Just give me a moment. Let me see if I can paste in the uh, chat box. WhatsApp group, right? So give me a moment. Here we go, medical writing. Okay, I have already shared ICF template. Just check, guys, if you got it. There are two medical groups I am part of. Just check, and if you are able to see the template. Although I will be sharing the screen, but have you got it? In small scale study, ICFs to be attached with appendices, or yes, it has to attach. Doesn't matter you are doing a small or big study, because you say that if a phase one study, there are only how many? Sometimes 15-20 patients. Still, they are having informed consent. Um, Risk to fetus. I will also cover in this template. Mostly, it is for eligibility criteria. who is eligible or not, it is always written that if you are planning for a pregnancy, or during trial if you got pregnant, so please let us know, because we don't know the effect of this drug on the fetus, right? And we don't want to put the fetus on the risk, right? So that's the reason it is a limitation added in each uh, ICF, mostly also part of a eligibility criteria of the protocol. You got it? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not, Nancy, I'm not able to understand. Not in 8 in 1 group. Um, no, ma'am, I am from pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance group. Okay, let me see. ठीक है, wait करो. Wait. Pharmacovigilance. मैं फार्माकोविजिलेंस मेरे ग्रुप में नहीं है. कोई एनीवन इफ यू कैन शेयर. Simriti can share, right? Industrial training group. Let me see if I industrial training. Okay. So medical writing, Dr. Ajit has added me in the medical writing group because I take sessions for medical writing.
I'll share it in all groups.
Okay, great. Okay, no worries, Samriddhi will share and you will get all the documents. So that this is not a big thing. But content wise, if you are having any question on informed consent form, please feel free to ask.
No, ma'am, I'll share it.
All right. So please feel free to ask the question. If I can drop it here, I'm able to attach from my this device, because let me see if it takes to.
I've shared it in all groups through WhatsApp.
Okay, dear. Thank you so much. Okay, student. Enough of discussions on this. What you say that sharing the document on the WhatsApp groups. But let's start with our ICF example or ICF template. Here it is. So I hope you are able to see one template which says that World Health Organization. So this template is in line to your ICH. So it's not different, especially the public health related studies. This is the template which is followed, and this is quite widely acceptable template. And as of now, this is one of the best for if we say that academic purposes like us. So stay with me and I will tell you that how you all can utilize this template for your uh, assignment first of all, and then later if you need, just understand this what they have written here. That the student of class 6 to 8, so here my this pen is not working because I have opened directly in a Word, so I won't be able to highlight it, but just try to understand that class 6 to class 8, the language of this template should be that standard. Now I also tell you another thing. Earlier this used to be a big trouble, because just ask me or you just check with yourself, it is very easy to write in a scientific language, very easy, because you have to take the language from protocol and just have to write in informed consent. But now it was difficult to simplify it so that a sixth grade or eighth grade student can understand. That was difficult. But now, good news is that artificial intelligence, it has solved that problem. You feed the difficult word in that, it will simplify that word for you. Like placebo, a normal person, they don't know what placebo is. But if you write in a way that placebo is, it doesn't have an active medicine in it, it's just a copycat drug, or you just simple write it's just a sugar, hmm, then they will understand. So that's how our simple writing works. These are just instructions, I am not going through. So now where you have to focus. Now this example red text, focus on this, because this will help you to improve your understanding. See that this is the first section. We are saying that here they are given an example. This informed consent form is for men and women who attend clinic jet and who are inviting to participate in research X, and the title of a project is this. So now just think from a medical writing point of view. So you just have to fill these gaps only. The rest of the document is already written for you. You just have to write the name of a clinic. You just have to add the title of your study, which you can take from a protocol. The rest is done for you. Hmm? Here I think in this template they have covered the malaria example. So see part 1. As I told you, informed consent has a two part. One is information sheet, where you are telling whole information to the participant or to the researcher. Second is consent. Now, here, if briefly, you have to inform a patient that what this research is. See the language, how easy it is. I am say that I am. My name is Sarabjit. I am working on this research institute. We are doing a research on say malaria disease, which is very common in this country. See how simple it is written. I am going to give you the information and invite you. Look at the wording. Invite you to part in this research. You do not have to decide today whether or not will participate in a research. Before you decide, you can talk to anyone feel you comfortable. Hmm? There may be some words that you do not understand. Please ask me or stop me before going through. So this is how, especially focus on this red text. This is how you write the introduction in the information sheet of a informed consent form. So purpose of the research. So this is how you write the purpose of the research. So you will take a information from your protocol, but here you will rewrite. How you will rewrite? Malaria is one of the common and dangerous disease in this region. The drugs that are currently used to help people with the malaria are not uh, good as we would like them to. In fact, only 40 out of every 100 people given malaria drug XYZ are completely cured. So, normally, how we talk 40% of the people, or we talk in a stat value 0.5%, 0.10%. But that's not how you present the data in a informed consent. You say that 5 out of 100 so that person can understand. 40 out of 100. That's known as a simplification of the language. There is a new drug which may work better. The reason we are doing this research is following to if the new drug XYZ is better than the already existing drug. So you are telling the patient in their language, in easy language, that you are trying to do what you are trying to compare your drug which is new with the older drug. I will read couple of things, then rest of the things you can read at your own pace. So type of the research intervention, the research will involve single injection in your arm, as well as 4 follow-up visits to clinic. In very easy language, you tell them that how many times they have to come to a clinic. See, we are another example, participant selection, how they're selecting. We are inviting all adults with malaria who attend this clinic to participate in research. Now, another important point, voluntarily participation. What type of language you write there? Your participation in this research is entirely voluntary. It is your choice whether to participate or not, whether you choose to participate or not. All the services you receive at this clinic continue or nothing will change. Because this might be the research happening at hospital. If you choose not to participate in this research project, you will offer the treatment that is routinely offered in a clinic or a hospital, and will tell you more about later. You may change your mind later, stop participating, even you agreed earlier. So you are also telling them, even if you agreed, it's no more a legal binding. You can change your mind anytime. So the down you have written what type of question you can ask them to understand if they are understanding correctly. If you decide not to take a participate in this study, do you know what are your options? You can ask them such questions, right? So you also have to give them information about the drug. So that you can give like this: the drug ABX is made by company this. You should know that it has a few side effects. We have talked about risk and benefits, right? One of the element of informed consent form. So you should know that it has a few side effects. One of the side effect or problem is you may feel tired for first day after being given the drug. Also, 20% of the people who tried the drug in a previous research experiment have a temporary swelling at their injection site. So see, generally in a scientific language we say injection site reaction, right? But here they have explained it: temporary swelling where the injection entered in the skin. uh, we know of no other problems or a risk. So that's how you tell them about the side effect, the risks of the trial. So what else I wanted to show you? This rest of the things you can read and take an examples for to yourself. See, see the side effect. Otherwise, we in a clinical trial we say adverse events. They are explained like, as already mentioned, this drug can have some unwanted effects. It can make you tired, and it can cause some swelling around the place where injection goes into your arm. It is possible that it may also cause some problem that we are not aware of, because this is a research. However, we will follow you closely and keep a track on unwanted effects or any problem. We may use some other medicines to decrease the symptoms or side effects. So this you tell them in advance what can happen to them in a trial. This is also risk. Benefit also you explain to them that if you participate in this research, you will have following benefit. Any interim illness will be treated at no charge to you. So that is an immediate benefit to them. If your child falls sick during this period, they will also treat it free of charge. There may not be any benefit for you, but your participation is likely to help us to find the answer to research question. So basically, you are telling them that this you are helping the society at this stage. Reimbursement, again, you will be explaining them that we will give you minimum of amount to pay your travel. So this is the confidentiality statement. Very, very important. With this research, something out of ordinary is being done in your community. It is possible that if others in the community are aware that you are participating, they may ask you about questions. We will not be sharing identity of those participating in the research. So basically, we are, in simple words, I am telling you that you have to give 100% confidence that this data will not be shared with anyone. So the information that we collect in the form of a research project will kept confidential. Information about you will be collected during research, will be put away. No one but the researcher will be able to see it. So you are telling that with their information, their data will be protected. Okay, so see the right to withdraw. You can withdraw at any time. So the part 2 I also wanted to show you. So part 1, the rest of the section you can go through at your own pace. But now I wanted to show you the part 2, which is where they give a consent. So part 1 is the information loaded part. Part 2 is the consent, right? So here, first of all, this section should be written in a first person and have a statement similar to one in the bold below. A participant is illiterate, but given an oral consent, a witness must sign. See, this paragraph, if you are reading, which I am reading, this paragraph, this will be come into your template automatically. You need not to write it for all the what you say that informed consent form. Similarly, there are many sections. You may have to modify here and there because our today's session is more a workshop or a practical side of the ICF, correct? So the focus is more on that how you can write. I have to give you that confidence, right? How you can write the informed consent form. So this most of this language they will come automatically. And suppose you are working on your own research project, you have to write an informed consent form. Download these informed consent template. Download from good source like WHO or ICH and use the language. See this statement as well. I have read the foregoing information, or it has been read to me. I have had opportunity to ask the question, and I have asked, been answered in a satisfaction. Now I consent voluntarily to participate in this clinical trial, in this research. So here the name of participant, signature of participant. Now, if illiterate, they have to give this statement. So if it is illiterate, a literate witness must sign. If possible, this person should be selected by participant and should have no connection with the research team. Participants who are illiterate should included their thumbprint as well. Here is the thumb imprint. So they have to add their thumb imprint, and here the parties witness has to sign. So they also give the statement as well that I have witnessed the accurate reading of the consent for the potential participant, and individual has an opportunity to ask the question. So see, everything is written in like I, right? So these are few more statements that they are added in the informed consent. DCGI also have their own set of statements, like 1, 2, 3 type of statements. So almost similar to this, but and this is how informed consent for a adult is looked. Now I will show you the template for a minor as well, right? So, but before that, we can we can stop by for a few questions. Okay. Nancy, there are so side effect and risk factor. A risk factor is totally a different thing. So we need not to differentiate. First of all, this is already been given to us. In a clinical trial, it is mostly addressed in the form of what do you say, adverse event. Hmm? And these adverse events are part of your investigator brochure. Based on that investigator brochure, you have added in your protocol, and now you are adding in the informed consent form. So if it is a part of your investigator brochure, then it is meant for that, or otherwise no. So you need not to differentiate as such. So risk assessment in a clinical trial is whole a lot of different subject. So we won't be going into that. So that you have to assess the risk in each and every process. Now with the revision of a new ICHF, E3 guidelines, sorry, E6 guidelines, they also added one principle on a risk assessment. So, or a risk factor, you can say. They side effect is totally different thing, we need not to differentiate these two. Okay, any other question? Is this template helpful? Is this template helpful to you guys? Thank you. Because that's the idea. Because in today, the session focus is, student, we not need not to focus the main goal. The focus is practical learning. The focus is, will you be able to draft some document? It's not like 100%. It's not possible that it is expected from you that you can write a fancy document. No, that is not the goal. Goal is at least, maybe I have shown you 10-page informed consent form. If you are able to write 2 pages, that is a win. Yeah, because that is the reason I have not shown you the ICH template, because they don't have included the example. But this WHO template, they have included the example very beautifully, and especially the disease that they have created, malaria, right? That's the one of our problem for our nation as well, right? We can relate to that, we can understand that, right? And I also wanted to show you the part 2, how the statements are used. Look and feel of the real document is always the different than the I'm reading from the slides, right? That's the goal. So save this document on your iPad or laptop, and go through it, slowly. You can't go through this whole document in one day, but especially if you want to write, right? So now, without wasting a time, I will be showing the another document, which is the my for a minor. What are the difference, right? Don't worry, I will share this document again with Samriddhi. She will be able to share with all the groups, right? So now look at this. This will be more a simplified version, even from the one that I showed you earlier. Hmm? As we have learned in our theory that when adolescent or children, they also participate in the clinical trial, then there are two requirements, right? One is informed consent, one is assent. So let's do you it so that you can read it. An informed assent form doesn't replace, see the language, doesn't replace the consent form signed by parents and the guardians. Hmm? The assent is addition. Assent is addition to consent and signals the child is willing to the cooperation of the study. See, they are even not saying that signature by child. They are saying signals by the child that he is okay to participate in a clinical trial, right? So this is how the title will go. That inform assent form is name the group of individual for whom this assent is written. So this is the example you may can write like this inform. uh, Focus on the red text. This informed assent form is for children between the ages of 12 to 16 who attend clinic accent partaking a participation in a research by. That's how you start. So the part one, as usual, is our information sheet. So this say that my name is this and my job to research the test vaccine to see which work best to stop a malaria before it makes someone sick. See how it is written here. The definition of vaccine they have given in a very simple language. If you can focus it here, vaccine to see to which work best to stop malaria before it makes someone sick. Prevention. Basically, they are explaining prevention. We want to know if this new vaccine will stop children from getting sick. That's how you are addressing them. Then again, the same standard text. I'm going to give you the information and invite you to participate in a research. You can choose whether to participate or not. The same that you are telling their parents. But here you are adding additional statements. You may discuss anything in this form with your parents, friends, or anyone else you feel comfortable. And why, see, the here purpose, even you will be, see, when I shown you the adult consent form, then you have seen the purpose is explained in a long detail. But not that case when you are dealing with the children. You even simplifying it further. Why? We want you to find a better ways to prevent malaria before it makes children sick. We have a new vaccine to prevent malaria, which we are hoping might be better than the one which is currently being used. In order to find out if it is better, we have to test it. So that's simply in 2-3 lines you are explaining it. Choice of participation. See, choice. This is a choice. Why are you asking me? That is the question. Again, as an example, you are telling them we are testing this new vaccine on children who are of your age between 12 to 16 who live in the place where there is a malaria. We are only testing the vaccine on children who do not have a malaria. See, you're telling them we are taking a healthy volunteer. So you see, and generally this is written as a healthy people, healthy volunteer. So you are explaining to children, right? They're saying that we are taking in this uh, research only children who are not having a malaria. See, next is participation is voluntarily. Do I have to do this? See, you don't have to be in this research if you don't want to. It's up to you. If you see, are you seeing the difference in the language? This is more we are speaking. So the simplified version of a complex language is always, it's a more in a way that we are speaking. Suppose we are speaking to our neighbor, suppose we are speaking to our parents, not in the bookish language, right? If you decide not to be part of a research, it's okay, nothing changes. This will clinic will still help you the same way as before. Even if you say yes now, you can change your mind later, and it will be still okay, right? So you are giving them a confidence about a future as well, that in a future if it changes, their mind changes, it's fine, it's totally fine. So I'm not reading all the text, students, because it's not possible. But wherever I feel said that, so I need to, this is how they see that they have explained the phases of clinical trial. The vaccine we are testing in the research called ABX, it has been tested twice before with the adults who do not have a malaria. Again, you are telling them it's tested on healthy people, but who live in the areas where a malaria is common. We now want to test the vaccine on teenagers who do not have a malaria. This is the this second research is called phase 2. So you are telling them this is second research, in a simplified way. See, this is what procedure they are explaining, the procedure. What is going to happen to me? For a simplification, you can read the very first, but whole para is very useful. You at least, if you don't have time to go through the whole document, at least read this. We are going to test this vaccine and by giving some children in the research study the new vaccine, the other is going to get old vaccine. So basically you are telling we are dividing you into two groups, one old vaccine, one new vaccine. Neither you or nor researchers will know who got the which vaccine. What is this we are explaining? We are explaining randomization and a blinding in an easy language that neither researcher or nor you will be knowing it. And by doing so, we can compare which vaccine is better without influence, right? So if you decide that you want to do this, here, there will be three things they can happen to you. In about 10 days, you will come to clinic with your parents. You will get an injection and shot in your arm. This is either vaccine or we are testing or a vaccine that is usually used to prevent a malaria. Basically, you are telling them either new vaccine you will be getting or old. Second step, what will happen? All clinic, we will give you mosquito net to take home and sleep under. Of third, you are telling them once a month for a 6 month. After that, you will come to clinic and the nurse will take your temperature, vitals. She will also take little bit of your blood, about 3 or 4 drops. See, normally how you tell them in a protocol, how it will be written, 1 ml of the blood. That is our scientific language. But here you are telling them 3 or 4 drops from your finger with the finger prick. This might hurt little, but hurt will go away before very long. So you are also telling them that there is a pain, but it's not too long. Along with altogether, you will come to clinic 7 times over 7 months. So basically, you are telling them 7 months this will be trial, and for 7 times you have to come to a clinic. At the end of 7th month, the research will be finished. This is how you explain even in the assent. Even you go more simpler than the consent. So now I won't be reading any more text. So this is it dangerous for me? Yeah, vaccine is considered safe, but rest you can read it here. Will it hurt? The injection might hurt, but this you can read at your pace. I wanted to go through part 2. Here is a part 2 where they say the certificate of assent. Sorry. So again, it is written in the first person. Why I'm focusing on this first person? You have seen the protocol we have written in a present sentence. Never forget this, because medical writing many a time 99.9% you will face written test. There they don't check you on that how well you can write. They simply see that you have an idea. Suppose they have given you some informed consent. If you have not written this section in a first form person, they think you don't know anything. So here they will give their statement. I understand this the way we have studied this. This research is about testing a new vaccine for malaria, and I may get either new vaccine or the old. I understand I will get injection, and that I will come for a regular monthly checkups for a clinic, and I will give a blood sample with a finger prick. So that you explain to that extent is explained. So here you see, um, they tell this information has been read to me or I read it. So here is a child who is going to print their name. Hmm? If illiterate, if they are not able to read and write, then they need a LAR. But thumb impression will be taken. Same process as of an adult. So that's all from my side. But we can take a questions, and after this, we will take few more things, and then we will be good to close, right? I will. There is a one question. Mm. When the participant is withdrawing, do they need to give the reason? I will explain you. That is the last part we will be discussing. So just wait for 2-3 minutes. Hmm. Yeah, thank you, Nancy, for that. I will explain you this with the what you say, with the whiteboard. Hmm. They they are not obliged to give a reason. They are not. There is no legal responsibility why they are withdrawing, but there are things that we follow. Okay, so now I guess we can go back to our whiteboard. Just give me a 2 minute. Um, then we can go back. No, this we are almost in a last section, so stay there. Thank you guys for waiting for me. I'm back. So now I have to explain you the last part of the our planned session today. So I'll take you back to our whiteboard. So let me share my screen. I think it's sharing here. Let me share again. Okay, here we are. So how we started, as a complete story. So I hope you are able to see the screen. So okay, so let's go here. So how we started with that planning, conduct, and analysis. So we have to complete the whole trial as a complete picture, not one picture. So planning stage, we prepared a document during conduct of the trial. You are using those documents. That consent form is one of that document. And once the trial is ending, right, it is ending, you have to write a CSR, clinical study report, and or you also have to do the publications. So here you write in a present sentence. And here, when you are writing a clinical study report, it is always written in the past, right? So that is one part of our story. I won't go deep into this, but just wanted to explain to you. So correct. So now someone's shared is that if the patient is withdrawing, do they have to give a reason? Now there is a one condition, for a withdrawal, they need not to give any reason. Patient can leave without any reason. What there is a story as well, but it is encouraged from a study team that during clinical, you are informed consenting form only, that if you are leaving, please let us know, so that for your well-being we can take actions. So now there are a couple of reasons. One is loss to follow up. So a team is trying to connect with them, but patient is lost. They are not picking up their phone, they are not answering, they are not responding. So it will under this category, that patient lost to follow. That is one category. And another withdrawal is voluntarily withdrawal. And the patient came to clinic, they said, now my mind has changed, then they that it will come as a patient withdrawal, and no reason they have to give it. Third reason is patient voluntarily withdrawn, and they give the reason. They're like, why you are withdrawing? They're saying that I am relocating, I am changing this place. That is one. Second is, they even say that I am not comfortable. They even say my family denied. Anything they say. When patient withdraw, you have to fill a form. So you select any of this reason. There is another reason of patient discontinuation, that is death. There is another reason as well of a patient discontinuation. What can be that? Your SAE or AEs. Or there is another reason of patient discontinuation. Investigator. Investigator thought that for patients' better health, they should not be part of this clinical trial, because this is an experimental trial for their health safety. One of this is like, suppose patient participated in a clinical trial, and they got pregnant. The moment they came to know, they said like, then so these reasons, they can be endless reasons. They can but these are the mostly categories 4 5. I have shown you clinicaltrial.gov, there you can see as well, right? Loss to follow up, death, investigator decision. Or there is one is GCP violation. You have not followed the GCP. For particular site has not followed the GCP, they are not including these patient in the analysis. So these can be the reason for a patient discontinuation. Coming back to your question, is patient has to give the reason? Is it a must thing? No. They can leave your trial without any explanation. The only thing is recommended that they give a reason. They inform a team, so that if some follow-up treatment, if some washout period is needed, that can be taken care of. Now there is one more thing. Suppose your trial has started with a 400 participant. So your trial has started with the 400 participants. So when you are this is at the initial stage, right? When you are starting your trial. So now when your trial is closed, you are calculating a data of a 360 patient only. Now, these remaining 40 patients, you have to explain what happened to them. If they have a left the trial, you have to categorize in these categories. Suppose two people died, five people essays, two people maybe investigator decision. Chalo, this we can exclude, then society close ho jayegi, right? Maybe 10 people lost to follow. This happens a lot in India, especially in a metro cities. People चले गए, कोई there is a function, there is a festival, they change their number as well. You are not able to track them, right? So voluntary withdrawal, mood badal gaya, they are not okay with. So then you have to give a explanation in your CSR. That okay, we started with 400, now only 360 left. What happened to these 40? That you have to give the reason. Even if it is 399, you have to explain for this one patient. Explain. You can't tell them that okay, I am unable to locate the data for one patient. That is unacceptable. Your data won't get accepted. So this is how it is tracked. This is the reason when you are writing CSR, this detail is also given, and in appendix your protocol, your ICF, your case report forms, and many more documents are attached, right? So my humble advice will be, student, last time I showed you that go to ct.gov, huh? I think I have showed you how to download a protocol, right? Now you can also download informed consent form. You can download as many as informed consent you want for your academic purposes. So any further question? Oh, kahan chale gaye? Any follow-up question, student? Are you able to understand it as a whole? Don't see informed consent as just one document. Try to see as a part of whole track. All right. So I have to share the second template with you guys. So I am instantly sharing it so that I don't forget, and Samriddhi will forward it to other groups. Any question, feedback you want to share? Okay, thank you so much. Medical writing, diploma. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. If there is no further question, we are okay to close today's session, right? So I have shared both the templates. I hope these things are valuable to you. And there are a lot many trials coming to India. Now these days, clinical trials again flourishing in India. Lot many opportunities will be there, but keep yourself ready for all those opportunities, right? So have a nice Sunday evening. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Quiz Samriddhi will be sharing. Don't worry. So, quiz and assignment Samriddhi will be sharing, or Dr. Ajit will share. So don't worry, you will get that. Welcome. Bye, guys. Bye bye.